Hello! We are going to be started in our class's syllabus here, and this video is all about using GitHub and Git LFS to start our projects. Later on in the class, we're going to be working in groups of 2 or more, and if you want to share the project and work on it simultaneously, you're going to have GitHub. If you're working on a laptop and maybe you've got a desktop at home, which is my situation, you want to be able to, move the project from, laptop to desktop, and you need GitHub for that. You need Git LFS with our VR projects because we'll be using large files, and if you are using large files and you're using GitHub, you run into this issue where you try to push a change and you get this message saying the files are too large. So that's where Git large file storage comes into play. So these links will be in the description below as well, but I just wanted to start here and show you that everything that you need is in the syllabus. That link will take you to install the Unity Hub, which you can do here. This link here will take you to the exact version that we need, which you can then install. GitHub Desktop. Experience Git without the struggle, which is our main goal for this class, is eliminate as much struggle as possible. So download that, and this is sort of what it looks like here. Download Git Bash here for whatever you're using. And lastly, Git large file storage, download that as well. I'll show us this later, but if you see down here, this getting started, Git LFS install, Git LFS abstract, it's giving us everything we need to get started here. Also, one way to install the Unity version once you're in Unity Hub here, you'll go to Installs, Install Editor, Archive, Download Archive, which takes you to this page. You can go to 2022 and then scroll down until you find the right version here and install. Once you have that installed, make sure you have Android and Windows here when you're installing that version. If you forget to add those modules, just come over to the settings, add modules, and then you're gonna need Visual Studio as well to code in Unity. Not that we're doing any coding from scratch, but we'll talk about it. And then you can come over here and make sure you have Android build support checked, Open JDK, Android SDK, and NDK tools, all of that. And then make sure you have, your Windows build support as well. Okay, so we're not actually gonna start building our project in Unity. Maybe you're used to going to projects and doing a new project here. I prefer to start in GitHub Desktop. This is what GitHub Desktop looks like. Go to File, New Repository, create a repository name. I'll just call mine XR World. Create a description if you want. Choose a path. So my path is Documents, GitHub 2025, and then I already had played around with the first XR game, so now I'll just make an XR World. Initialize this repo with a README. For your gitignore, make sure you go and choose Unity. Don't forget that. Create repo. All right, so you can see up here, we've got the XR World. We're on our main branch, and then we can publish the repo. Now we go into Unity Hub, and under projects, go to new project. Make sure you have the correct editor version selected here. And you might think we'd start off with VR Core since that's what we're going to be making, or mixed reality. We're gonna do the Universal 3D. So this is using the Universal Render Pipeline. For location, I'm gonna go to the location with which I have my GitHub project already set up. So GitHub 2025, XR World, XR World. I accidentally duplicated that, so I'll have to go back and fix it. But select that folder that you had already made. So now everything is in one place. Create project. creating a new project is going to take just a little bit of time. Cool. So this is what my project looks like. I have a different layout. If you go to like the default, this is probably the way y'all are seeing it, but I prefer to put my hierarchy over here and my project folder here, and then make the console small like this, and put the game view here. This is my preference. So I'm gonna go to save layout, and I've already saved it as my layout. So every time I come into Unity, I can just go and fix it. Okay, so if you open up GitHub Desktop, you now see all of these files that have been added. Let's see if we can commit the 26,326 files to main. Oh no! Okay, so this is the big problem. The following files are over 100 megabytes, blah, 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 blah. We recommend you avoid committing these files or use Git LFS to store large files on GitHub. Now, right-click up here on your repo, show and explore. So you can see here that it's got a .git attributes and a .gitignore, and it's outside of the project. So that's going to be a problem already. So please, this took me forever to understand and to fix, but it will not work if you do not do this. Let's just go ahead and put all of these inside of the project folder. So we are all good there, hooray. That will mess you up. Once you're in the project, and you have to be in the project folder where you see all of these folders here, right click, show more options, open Git Bash here. We're gonna go back to those commands that we saw when we were downloading Git Bash. And the first one is Git LFS install, enter. Okay, updated Git hooks, Git LFS initialized. Okay, so that's what we want to see. Tracking any file that is going to be large or that we think might be large. So we're going to start with Git LFS track. And I'm going to put track Unity, but I think it should be already tracking Unity since we checked that in GitHub. But if you didn't check Unity, then you can do Git LFS track quotation marks star dot Unity quotation. So that's sort of like the way that we're gonna write any file type that we want to track. So press enter. Okay, so it's tracking it. Next up, we're gonna do Git LFS track quotations star dot mp4. So this is good in case you add a video or maybe you want to do like 360 videos. I'm going to track PNGs. I'm tracking OBJs, and objects are always, like 3D models are always kind of big. So any format that you're using for your 3D models, just track that. Do git add dot git attributes. And just as a reminder, I'm coming back here to the LFS, Git LFS that I had linked. And git add dot git attributes, yes. And lastly, we're gonna do git LFS migrate import -- include equal quotation star dot Unity comma star dot mp4 comma star dot whatever else we tracked, so PNG, end quotations -- everything. I'm not actually sure if this last line is necessary. I don't think it is, but I'm doing it just in case. I'm gonna exit out of that. And if we go back to our project, in GitHub, we can see now that it's going to commit 67 files to main instead of those thousands of files. So that's really good news. Commit those files. I'm going to push origin. Cool. And so now if we view it on GitHub, we can see that the project exists here. Hooray. Now you can make other branches and like share it with your peers and all work on it together. So if you have any questions about branching, just let me know in class. Okay, so I'm back inside of my project and I'm going to add a new scene. I'm going to get rid of the sample scene. Actually, I'm going to take its global volume before I get rid of it, just in case. So over your sample scene, remove the scene, don't save. So now I've got a new scene. I'm going to come over here and go to Save Scene As. In my projects, assets, I've got a scenes folder, and that's where I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to title my first scene XR World. So now we are set up and ready to go to start our VR. But first, let's go back into GitHub Desktop, and we see we've got some files changed here. So I created new scene. I'm going to commit those. I'm going to push, and voila, everything is saved and ready. And so after you get done with each Unity session, you just make sure you go over to GitHub Desktop and push the changes. The next video is going to be our VR setup, which is different from some of my other videos because now we're going to use the Meta XR all-in-one SDK, which is very, very exciting and super easy for a beginner. So I can't wait to get started.